Hello, today I'm going to be covering behavior modification, particularly behavior modification through the use of a board game. Martin and Pear in 2016 described the behavior modification as the systematic application of learning principles and techniques to assess and improve individuals' covert and overt behaviors in order to enhance their daily functioning. What this means for us is that we're going to use a reward system to try to increase desired behaviors and decrease desired behaviors. This reward system is going to come out in the form of a board game. So our board game is ultimately going to look like this. We're going to have prompts up here to remind the student what they're working for and what they have to do to receive it. We're going to have squares that they have to progress through and reward indicators such as the stars. And then I always put their name at the bottom so it feels more individualized. So the first step before I even begin making this for the activity is to know your student. In this scenario, I've made up a student named Jack. Jack is a 25-year-old male who goes to an accounting class, is a good student, but just gets really excited and will blurt out answers as soon as he knows them. So the behavior we're going to work on is blurting out answers. We're instead going to raise our hand and wait to be called on, then answer. So that's the behavior we're going for. That is the desired behavior. The next thing is the reward. And for this scenario, I've given you a reward. It's called the tumbler. You can sit here, play this back and forth. It's a very big hit in some of my classes. It's something that's easily given and taken away during class without causing a big commotion. So once we've decided our target audience, our reward, and our desired behavior, we can start making the actual board game itself. First step is to make a simple design on a piece of paper. This will be the main path that the student will take. We then have to make a lot of boxes and glue them on. To save time, I've already gone through and glued all the boxes onto the path. Then we have to decide on a reinforcement schedule, or how often are they going to get rewarded. You have to do it frequently enough that they remain entertained and engaged, but not so frequently that the reward becomes extinct or like doesn't want to be engaged with anymore. So I chose once every 4 times. So I go through and every 4 boxes I make a star. So now every time Jack raises his hand and answers a question, he will go from the start to 1 box forward. And every 4 times he does this desired reaction behavior, he will get a star. And once he gets to the star, it's up in the prompt, it says he will receive 1 minute with the tumbler. And when he gets to the smiley face, which is at the very end, he will receive 3 minutes with the tumbler. You make the last one a little bit bigger so they work harder towards it. So once you have made your design and filled in your boxes and made your stars, it can be anything. It doesn't have to be stars, just something that I call them reward indicators, something that indicates that they're going to get this reward. And you want to make the very last one different so they know it's the big one. You will then work on making a prompt for the student to hold. This will state the desired behavior. So in this case, it says, I will raise my hand and wait to be called on instead of blurting out the answer. This way, when the student is at his or her desk wondering like, oh, what do I do to get my reward? They can look down at this prompt and be like, oh yeah, next time I want to answer a question, I'm going to raise my hand. So you will then fill out the top prompt. For every star, Jack, in this scenario, will receive 1 minute with the tumbler. And at the last block, or the smiley face, Jack will receive 3 minutes with tumbler. You want to have this prompt up here filled out so the student knows when he's going to get rewarded, every time he hits a star. And what's the ultimate goal? To get to the smiley face, which will be a bigger reward. So once you've, starting from the top, you want to discover what the student behavior is. What behavior do you want to change, improve on? Then you want to discover what motivates the student, in this case, the tumbler. Then you want to start creating your board game. Once you've made your path, and your paths can be a variety. It can be a snake. It can be a basic up and down horseshoe. There's no set design. You do it based on, you can make it longer for longer classes, shorter for shorter classes. Whatever you think will help the student best succeed. Then once you've designed it, you want to decide your reinforcement schedule. Do you want it to be once every 4? Do you want it to be once randomly? You can make, towards the end of the class, you might want to make the stars a little bit closer so the student doesn't drift off. He's more engaged, stuff like that. So once you've decided your reinforcement schedule, you work with the student. You have them fill out the little prompt card about what they're going to do to move forward. And each time they do that desired behavior, you or the student will come up and move their token one forward, one forward. That way they can keep track. I like to make my token spots, my squares, different colors, stuff like that, keep them engaged. Another pro tip is if you laminate it, you can erase it and then just keep the basic wording, and you can make it different amongst each student. So I think this would be a fun activity to teach behavior modification that everyone can do. It keeps the students engaged, and it's not that taxing on the teacher. So have a great day. Thank you.